Hello everybody, thank you for joining. My name is Crystal Oliveria and I am a scholarship coach. And today I'm here to talk to you about how you can help your child become accountable. So your son or daughter understanding of accountability is often vague. Many of your child's experiences with accountability happen to be aimless without clear purpose. There are three common ways your child experiences accountability. And we're going to discuss what those are and what you can do to help your child become more comfortable with the subject. Number one, your example number one, teachers hold your child accountable by checking his or her homework. Everyone expects teachers to check homework because that is part of their job. Checking a student's homework is a low-level form of engagement. Your child does not see the value of this accountability activity. The teenager feels like they're being checked in on as if they're a little kid instead of as a young adult who's earning respect for their competency. Next time you're tempted to ask your child if he or she has done his homework, why don't you instead try asking, how far along are you on your homework? This question assumes your son or daughter has started his or her homework. This type of question allows your child to explain his actions or lack thereof. For example, your child might say, I've completed half of my homework. I came home late from a soccer practice because I was helping a friend with a few extra drills after practice. When you ask open-ended questions, there's a tendency to have a higher ability to hold someone accountable because your child realizes that you care enough to listen, but he or she is more willing to tell you what's going on in their lives. Example number two. Have you ever told your son you better do this or else? For many parents, this is a common phrase that they use when they're upset and frustrated. And it's a natural tendency. However, what it does is it conditions your child to believe that there will be negative consequences if they don't do what you want them to do, and your child complies or rebels. And regardless of which way your child acts, your child associates being held accountable with being judged. And true accountability is not about approval or disapproval. True accountability is about holding other people responsible for his or her behavior. And your teenager will not share information about his or her action if he or she feels that he or she will be judged. So a frustrated parent will lecture their child rather than give their child the opportunity to speak up about what's going on and why they have or have not done something. So next time you want your child to complete a task, instead of giving an order and telling your child what to do, try asking them or stating it differently and say, this task needs to be completed by tomorrow morning. When can you get it done? This way, when you follow up with them, you can always say, well, this morning when we spoke, you said you would have it done before dinner. What happened? And this opens up the conversation for dialogue rather than lecture. And example number three, they do it for the money, ego, and or title. So typically what happens is your student might participate in a school project where they're given the task of being a team leader. And they probably don't like it because it's hard to hold their peers accountable. They either, don't do what they're told, or they do the job poorly, and other students have to step in and do what was supposed to be done in the first place. So your child has a negative outlook on what does it mean to hold someone accountable, and it's not a very pleasant task for them, so they don't see why someone else would want to have that task. And so the way that your teenager rationalizes it is by thinking, okay, well, they must be doing it for the money, becoming a manager, or because of it's an ego thing, or certainly because it sounds good. It gives them a position of power. So your teenager often doesn't, on both sides of the coin as far as accountability goes, may feel like it's not very valuable because they haven't had a whole lot of positive experiences with it. They can't really quite clearly define what it means. So one of the things that you can do as a parent is to help them understand that the importance of accountability and help them remember good examples of what does it mean to be accountable. You know, remind them of a time when they worked with a coach, whether it was a sports coach or, you know, they were on an academic decathlon team, and the person who guided them, think of a fond experience that they remember because, you know, that coach because they really cared about seeing the child, you know, improve and the development and the joy that they got from it. You help your child remember these activities, then they remember, you know, I really like that experience. That's an experience I want to experience more often. And they'll start associating positive feelings with being accountable. And it will help them understand that being accountable, holding someone accountable, is a skill set that someone can develop. And there's internal rewards as well as external rewards for it. So with that being said, it's one thing to be accountable. It's another thing to be willing to be accountable. And I think if you position it from the standpoint of helping your child understand that by being accountable and being engaged in asking questions and being willing to answer it, you're putting them in a position where you're trying to help them succeed. And in order to do that, you're brainstorming ideas and, you know, what can be done to help them meet their full potential. And when they see you coming from a standpoint of, you know, let's brainstorm opportunities, possibilities, what can we do? This is your future. I really care about you. And the accountability is not because I disapprove or I disagree, but there's certain steps that probably need to be taken, and you may or may not be taking these steps, and I'm disappointed in your, you know, you not progressing, or I'm disappointed in you not taking the necessary steps that you need to take in order to be successful. And so when you explain it from a standpoint of you're disappointed that they're not meeting their full potential, you're not saying that, you know, I'm disappointed in you. You're saying, I see you as something greater than what you are, and looking at you, what you can become. And, you know, I want to share in that joy of you becoming that person. And even if I don't have all the answers, or we need to get you a coach, you know, your child's open to suggestions about either what do they need to do, who do they need to work with, or, you know, what changes they might need to make in their life, such as, you know, setting aside 30 minutes a day to make time to find and apply for scholarships. So certainly having a dialogue and having a conversation is very important, and I hope you find these tips helpful to help you better communicate with your child, so that when you encourage them to find scholarships, or whether you decide to get a coach, you have a great foundation laid out, because the child understands that you want them to be great, you want them to succeed, and you're doing the best you can with what you have to help them be open to feedback, which is only going to help them be accountable. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.